Hello everyone, my name is Christophe Vass. I'm a project manager at Thales for the rotary cooler. Today I will speak about the applicable range for rotary cooler and a prediction model that we develop at Thales. I will start by a quick introduction, followed by an explanation about the impact of the new detector on the rotary cooler, and then I will present you our prediction model that we develop, and I will answer to the question how we could choose the best cooler for your application. Finally, I will conclude by a short conclusion. Today, we saw a recent detector announcement. For instance, the new detector uses a new cryogenic temperature, such as hot temperature, like 150K. The pixel pitch is reduced for most of the detector. New functions are integrated in the detector, such as ROIC, and some optical element could be integrated in the DWAR also. That's for the detector. For the cooler, the trend is for swap cooler. That means size, weight, and power. So smaller cooler, lighter cooler, and efficient cooler. And moreover, customers want to standardize their product portfolio. That means to have a low quantity of various cooler and to have, for instance, one cooler for several applications. All of this point leads to have a new cooler and to have cooler adapted to this new requirement. So first of all, what are the impact of this new detector on the cooler? You can see here some example. For instance, if we increase the cold temperature of the detector for hot temperature, you will see that the thermal load will decrease, and for the cooler you will have a shorter coolant time, a lower consumption, and an higher reliability. If you decrease the pixel pitch, the thermal mass will also decrease, and you will have the same impact on the cooler. Now you have to define for all this impact what are the impacts on the cooler for the performance. It's necessary to understand all this impact on this new detector on the cooler. You can see on this slide for some example. For instance, if you decrease the pixel pitch, you will decrease the thermal load, and the impact on the cooler is that you will reduce the coolant time, you will reduce the consumption, and you will increase the reliability. If you add some pixel in order to have a larger range of image, for instance, you will increase the thermal load, increase the thermal mass, and on this side, you will increase the coolant time, increase the consumption, and you will decrease the reliability. Now you have to understand what are the impact of all this modification on the cooler performance. For that, it's necessary to have a prediction model in order to predict the cooler performance at system level. The question is, how could you choose the best cooler in function of your needs? Three things are required for that. First of all, a cooler mapping. That means what are the performance for a large range of application. A feed function, an exact DWAR characterization, what are the exact DWAR characteristics, and a simulation software in order to predict the performance. We will see these three things in the next part of the presentation. So first of all, the cooler mapping. The goal of this mapping is to measure the cooler performance for a wide range of applications for the cooler. We measure in the past for all our cooler several parameters: the coolant time, the maximum input power, the input power in steady state, and the cold temperature stability. And we measure this parameter in function of several inputs, such as the ambient temperature, the cold temperature, the DWAR characteristic, the passive and active load of the detector, the filling pressure, and the rotation speed. And at the end, we have a mapping of the cooler performance. You have here two examples for the RMS1 and the RM2. On the left side, you have the impact on the coolant time of the ambient temperature and the cold temperature. On the right side, you have the impact of the input power of the cold temperature and the ambient temperature. At the end, you can see a full mapping, and we can define a range for each cooler where we are sure that the cooler is able to run. You can see here the range for each our legacy product where we define that the cooler is able to run. For instance, for the RM4, the cooler is able to run between 70K and 150K. And you have for all these parameters, we define a range, applicable range. Once you define this range, you can define a feed function. The goal of this feed function is to calculate the cooler performance in function of simple input data. So here we define the cooling power and the input power in function of the rotation speed, the cold temperature, the ambient temperature, and the filling pressure. That means we have few parameters, few input data, and we are able to estimate the cooler performance. We validate this feed function. You have on the bottom part of the slide the validation, and you can see that all the measures are similar to the calculated value, and the mean error for our cooler is 5%. So the feed function is accurate and can be used to predict the cooler performance. With this feed function, we are able to define some curve of the cooler performance in function of input data, and you can see here some example for the RM2 of the variation of several parameters, several performance, such as the input power here, and the variation of the input power in function of the input data. If we check the efficiency relative to Carnot, we can see that there is a maximum efficiency for a point. If we check this efficiency in function of the other parameter, for instance the filling pressure, we can see that the maximum is not at the same place. At the end, we use the fit function in order to define the filling pressure, in fact, in order to have the cooler running at the good point and at the maximum efficiency. And if we compare the efficiency for the rotary cooler, we can see that compared to the linear efficiency, we are higher, about 25% in this example. That means a rotary cooler is much more efficient than a linear cooler. We have the mapping, we have the fit function, and at the end we will define a simulation model. The goal is to have some tool able to calculate all the parameters of the cooler in function of simple input data. We use Thermixel simulation software, and we use a model defined for linear cooler that we adapt for rotary cooler, and the input data for this model is on one side the fit function parameter, the Dewar characteristic, the conductive and convective connection resistance. We can use default value if we don't know them. And we have to use also the maximum applicable range for the cooler. The output of this model is the cooler performance, such as the input power, the cool down time, the cooler temperature, the cooler skin temperature in fact, and the heat flow and temperature at system level. You can have some kind of graph that you see on the slide, and that means this model can be also used to predict the cooler performance, but also to predict the impact of the cooler on the system relative to the thermal dissipation, for instance. We can go back to the question of the beginning: how could you choose the best cooler in function of the customer need? We define a process, in fact. First of all, we need for sure the input data. What are the critical parameters? What are the mission profile? What are the cooler already used by the customer, by the user? We calculate the performance of several coolers, several points, and we choose the best cooler for the given application. Then we calculate the final performance for this cooler and the optimized point. Finally, we calculate the final performance and eventually the reliability for this application. And at the end, we can propose also some tests with representative Dewar in order to validate the calculation and to be sure that our model is accurate. At the end, we have a range, an applicable range for each our cooler. And we can see on the graph on this slide that our coolers are flexible. One cooler can be used for several applications, they are robust, and they are very efficient. And today, Thales is able to predict the main performance characteristic on the full range of the cooler applicable range. And we saw on this graph that there is an empty zone on the left side of the graph. So, after discussion with several customers and after study of the market, we think to develop a new cooler for the high power range. We made a mock-up in the past. With this mock-up, we are able to identify the main performance of the cooler and to have the input data necessary to be put in the input model. That means today we have a new cooler in mind and we are able to estimate the performance of this new cooler for this high power cooler for all the expected points. This cooler is expected to be qualified in 3 years and available in production in 4 years. To conclude, we saw that our cooler can be adapted, are flexible. One cooler can be used for several applications. The range for one cooler is very high, can be used for a wide range of cold temperature, for instance. We are able to predict the cooler performance for all of this range, and we are able to optimize this cooler in order to have the best product for your needs. The range of our cooler can answer to all the needs, and if we saw that a cooler is missing, if a range zone is missing, we develop, in fact, a new product in order to increase our applicable range. The way forward for this model is to improve the filling pressure impact on the model, and also to use this model for new coolers that are not existing, where we don't have any performance data. So thank you for attending this presentation. If you have any question, feel free to contact us by email or on the SPI interface. And you can see some other video on the digital market of the SPA. Thank you.